Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. That night changed everything. Rain pounded against Drew's windows. The house was silent. In that stillness, two gunshots rang out, one after the other, separated by a pause. A twist many never saw coming. What if there were two shooters rather than one? Willow is already behind bars, charged with attempted murder. Nina was arrested for conspiracy. But how solid is that case? The alibi Nina tried to build for Willow crumbled once security video showed Nina was alone in her apartment building that night. So Nina likely didn't pull the trigger. But did Willow? Or was someone else orchestrating this, even pulling trigger or assisting from the shadows? The key clue: 2 bullets, delivered with a slight delay. That detail gives rise to the theory: 2 shooters. Perhaps the first shot was fired, and then a second person stepped in and fired again. That switch could serve multiple purposes. It protects each shooter from total exposure, gives them leverage over one another, and adds confusion into the forensic picture. Imagine assailant A fires, maybe injuring Drew, then hands off the weapon or retrieves a second gun, letting assailant B deliver the second round. Neither wants to be the sole party responsible, so they share liability, but also share control over how much gets revealed. If that happened, then Willow's guilt could be real, yet incomplete. She might have been partner in a plot rather than lone actor. Let's think about the timeline and motives. Drew's list of enemies is long. He's manipulated people, crossed lines, betrayed trust. Any one of a handful might have wanted to silence him. One suspect is Michael Corinthos. Already under suspicion, Michael stands to benefit if Drew is neutralized. His history with Willow, his proximity to many of these conflicts, he's an easy target for suspicion. Willow herself is a natural suspect. She's hurt, wronged, desperate. But she insists Michael framed her. She intends to plant the blame on him. That raises a question. Is she lying? Or is she telling truth, but only part of it? But what if Willow is only part of a duo? If she acted with someone else, she could shift full blame onto Michael while she hides behind a co-conspirator's involvement. Other possible accomplices or independent shooters: Curtis Ashford, Portia Robinson, Kai Taylor, Trina Robinson, even unexpected actors like Sidwell or external antagonists. Curtis and Portia have recently tangled with Drew, especially given his blackmail leverage. Portia claims she was elsewhere, but she lacks a strong alibi. Drew has begun eyeing both of them as potential shooters. If he starts pointing fingers at Portia, that would put her under pressure to defend herself. Kai Taylor is in a precarious position. He's close to Drew, involved in the aftermath. He may have had opportunity, but his involvement would require motive, access, and daring. Trina, too, might be drawn in. If she feels threatened or protective of someone, she could be dragged into a darker plan. Then there's the wild card. Someone neither suspected nor expected. Someone watching, waiting. A third party. Someone better shielded from obvious blame, who colluded with Willow or with one of the suspects. Returning to the two-shooter theory, could the timing between shots match two hands? The delay might indicate that the shooters weren't in perfect coordination. If shooter A fires, pauses, then hands off, those seconds matter. The forensic trace, gunshot residue, angle, trajectory, shell casings, if meticulously examined, could betray that kind of relay. But GH shows evidence of sloppy planning too. Leaving Drew alive seems a foolish oversight. If two shooters were involved, perhaps neither was confident enough to finish the job, or both were hesitant. Also note that Scout's phone call may have been critical. Some reports suggest the sound of that call spooked one or both shooters, interrupting their plan. That moment of fright could explain why the shooters didn't finish off Drew. Suddenly the quiet turned chaotic, forcing them to retreat. So picture this: dusk, the storm raging. Shooter A slips in, fires. Drew stumbles. The plan is to follow up, but a phone rings. Scout's voice. The criminals freeze. Shooter B, nearby, fires impulsively to cover. Then both scatter into the night. Given that scenario, investigators will have to parse out which shooter did what. Who ordered the attack? Who held the gun first? Who fired second? And why handoffs at all? Willow, in custody, wants to pin everything on Michael. If she and someone else orchestrated it, she might strategically omit mention of her partner. That reduces her culpability, or at least splits it. Nina's innocence, so far, is supported by evidence showing she was not present. That rules her out of direct shooting. But she could have helped set up the plan, provided intel, or cleaned up afterward. She might still face conspiracy charges. Michael, if framed, must tread carefully. If he slips, Willow's narrative will collapse, or cleverly reveal just enough truth to mislead. Curtis and Portia are strong suspects, especially given their interactions with Drew. Portia was close to him, had motives tied to moral and professional scandal. Curtis has family loyalty, protective impulses, resentment of Drew's manipulation. Each could have been recruited by Willow, or by someone else to take action. Kai's proximity and access make him intriguing. He could have entered the scene under pretext, perhaps even planted by Willow or another as the second shooter. Trina's connection to Kai gives her potential involvement. She may have known parts of the plan or been useful as a lookout, distraction, or accomplice. Let's consider forensic evidence. Gunshot timing, trajectory angles, residue patterns, even fingerprints on shells or guns. All of that could differentiate two shooters. Investigators will likely look for inconsistencies, two sets of prints, two types of residue, mismatched bullet angles. But in soap style, that may be muddied by cleaning, planting evidence, or interference. Anna Devane's investigation is heating up. She's likely to press suspects, dig into time logs, interview everyone, cross-check alibis. And she'll focus especially on gaps, where suspects claim to be, what they were doing during the seconds between shots, and who benefited. Willow's defense narrative centers on framing. She'll argue that Michael planted evidence at Elizabeth Baldwin's place. But that defense weakens if two shooters exist. Michael can't cast blame for every bullet. His frame may cover one shot, but the second shot might be part of a plot. She could have recruited someone, maybe someone resentful of Drew, to help. That accomplice might be willing to stay silent or cut a deal. If we assume Willow plus one conspirator, the prime question is, who? Michael? Possible, but risky. He's too central. A less obvious conspirator is more powerful. Someone like Kai or Portia or Curtis, less suspicion, more deniability. Another twist. What if one shooter was unaware of the full plan? Maybe shooter B thought they were acting solo, but were manipulated into contributing the second shot. That gives Willow plausible deniability. She didn't intend double murder, only a scare, but the plan spiraled. This opens possibilities. Willow loses control, someone else takes over mid-crime, turning a partial attempt into something more dangerous. Also consider motive layering. One conspirator could hate Drew more than Willow does, giving them incentive to go deeper. Willow may have brought in someone whose vendetta was stronger, who became trigger-happy. The drama intensifies when Drew, once strong and aggressive, realizes he's a victim. Now he may fight back. He might start to piece together strange evidence, timing oddities, inconsistencies in suspect stories, unseen alibis. He may suspect the two-shooter theory before the cops do. If he pressures his suspects, cracks start to form. Anna may corner Willow with circumstantial evidence. But if Willow maintains Michael framed her, the pressure will shift to the second shooter. That person might crack under pressure, or attempt to shift blame to Willow. It's even possible that the second shooter is someone no one yet considers. A wild card, a hidden enemy, perhaps someone from Drew's past, someone with access, inside knowledge, who saw an opportunity. If that's true, Willow could be entirely innocent of the actual shots. She may have been used, set up. She'd still face conspiracy accusation, but not direct guilt. Or she may genuinely be guilty, but only partially. She may have fired one shot, and her partner fired the second, turning the crime into shared responsibility. As the investigation deepens, DCs will want to watch these threads. The time lapse between bullets and what that implies. The forensics, fingerprints, gun residue, shell casings. Alibis of all prime suspects. Who benefited most? Who had opportunity and access? Inconsistencies in stories. An explosive reveal could come when Anna confronts two suspects simultaneously, forcing a confession that exposes a partner in crime. In the next episodes, we may see one suspect fold, turn state's evidence, or make a desperate move to pin everything on someone else. That collapse will be dramatic. Perhaps Willow admits partial truth. She was involved with motive, planning, but she did not pull both triggers. Or else, the second shooter surfaces, perhaps a character long thought innocuous, now revealed as ruthless and cunning. Meanwhile, Drew will struggle with trust, with memories, and with fear. He must decide who he can believe, who he can trust. He may even assemble his own list, confronting suspects, pushing them to slip up. As viewers, we'll watch alliances shift, loyalties fracture, secrets unravel. The two-shooter theory adds layers. The crime becomes not just about who shot Drew, but who conspired to make it happen, and how far each was willing to go. So ask yourself, who would trade that kind of risk? Who would accept sharing blame? Who would benefit most from Drew being silenced, partially or completely? Who had access during that stormy night? Who could sneak in silently, switch roles, and vanish? In the weeks to come, the revelation of two shooters could be one of GH's boldest twists. It forces the storyline into gray zones: guilt, betrayal, complicity. It demands that suspects turn on each other. It keeps viewers guessing, rewinding, theorizing. No one is safe. Every secret, every rumor, every slight discrepancy might be the key. The two-shooter twist may redefine everything we thought we knew. About Willow, about Nina, about Michael, about Curtis, about Portia, about Kai, Trina, anyone in Port Charles. And when the truth finally surfaces, when Anna forces a confession, when Drew confronts the mastermind, when the second shooter steps into light, the shock will be profound. The fallout will ripple across relationships, reputations, and loyalties. Be ready for alliances to crumble, betrayals to sting, and truths to explode. The night Drew was shot will be rewritten, 1, 2, or more times, until the final answer burns through the shadows. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for all of your updates.